Working on it.
Well, you'll get there. You've been working hard. I mean, I really you laid it out in your video that you did. I was just going to play your video. I didn't know you'd actually come on for live, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I basically came back from work and now I'm packing stuff because we are moving to another apartment today. But I had to come for a coffee house network at least. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. So today we had two options, either Blair or, well, we had three because I was going to play a recording for anyone that wanted to co-work and just get some work done. But this recording that we do here today, maybe what we could do is do, since Bronwyn wanted to do Kathy's and Blair has some amazing, has a great presentation, why don't we just do them both and we'll just go a little bit fast.
That sounds great.
Sure. I mean, my presentation is pretty fast.
Perfect. So let's do them on a 2-for-1 basis then, instead of splitting out. I am really excited though that this got me to figure out how to open up breakout rooms in Zoom, so that when we do have more people, we can do that and go on from a mastermind group as that grows. That'll be awesome. So I had to watch the video a few times, and you have to turn items on and stuff. So if anyone wants to use that, let me know, because it's a great tool. And you can also turn on, I don't know why they have a turn on things and administrative settings and file sharing and stuff like that. And you can limit what types of files you can share and things like that. So it was really great little learning curve. So I loved it. Since you said yours is fast, Blair, would you like to go first?
Sure.
Okay, and so you guys know I've created the Coffee House Network now as a virtual coffee shop. So this will get posted in there, and people can come back and watch this again and again, and we'll repost it and invite people into LinkedIn to co-work to your recordings and things like that. So Adam will invite people in to watch your recording, and because there's just a small group of us, we'll do it all in one. But I can split this out separately later. So, Blair,
okay. I will share my screen.
And I will also pin you. I should be able to pin you to the top as well. We'll pin your video.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about user-generated content. UGC is what its acronym is, and 5 ways to collect content from your fans or the internet. Ooh, it changes on its own. Don't know why that's happening, but that's okay. So who am I? Well, I'm Blair Kaplan Venables, and I'm president of Blair Kaplan Communications. I started my PR company about 12 years ago. This July, it's turning 12. I call it my biz mitzvah. It's funny because I'm Jewish and had a So I'm having a biz mitzvah this year. I'm trained in public relations, but social media marketing has been my specialty. From Winnipeg, I went to school for public relations at the University of Winnipeg. I worked for Lululemon for about 3.5 years and worked in Winnipeg, Edmonton, moved to Vancouver, wanted to do PR. Lululemon wanted me to do more management, so I quit and started my own company. It's 23, beginning of the recession. I literally know how to bootstrap like a badass. I know how to figure stuff out, and I built my company based around the needs of people. When someone wanted something to happen, I made sure it did. You know, and social media was just becoming a tool for marketing. I would learn how to, apply my public relations skills to using social media as a way to, spread the message of those businesses. A few clients of mine call me a pioneer in social media marketing, which is really funny because I don't like churn butter. Just churn stories. Anyways, what is user-generated content? User-generated content is basically any form of content, so images, videos, audio, etc., that have been posted by other users on the internet or social media, and you choose to share that user-generated content in your networks. Actually, before I go on, can I see a show of hands? Who here has used user-generated content before in their social media marketing?
Me.
No one? You? Okay, sweet.
Probably a little bit.
Okay. So basically, it's an awesome way to save time and money. So I'm someone who creates a lot of content. I hire a photographer times a year. It's about between $200 and $500 each time, plus hair and makeup, maybe the time it takes to create content. So photo shoots, going out and getting content in my backyard, whatnot. I mean, I love it and I do it anyways. It's part of my life, but the time and money that goes into creating content, if you sit down and add it up, it can really cost you a lot of time and money. And user-generated content is a great way to save both of those things. So I'm going to go through 5 ways on collecting user-generated content. There's tons of ways to do it, just 5 ways I recommend. And there's no right or wrong way to, well, there's wrong ways to do it. But there's no really wrong way to approach the user-generated content collection. And I'll go over some tips on how to do it kind of within an ethical boundaries of what's right and wrong. Right and wrong, meaning that there's certain things you shouldn't do, and you got to make sure there's certain things that you do. So the first idea, and Lululemon does this great, is create a branded hashtag. So Lululemon uses hashtag the sweat life. It's in their bio, so you can see the middle image right there. They have it in their bio, and then their Lululemon heads, the loyal Lululemoners, when they're posting in their Lululemon clothing and attire, they're usually also including the sweat life in hopes that Lululemon will reshare their content. And sometimes they do share it to their stories and whatnot. It's a great way, if you come up with a unique hashtag, it's a great way to collect user-generated content. For other clients of mine, Uller Adventure Maps was used to be a client of mine, and we had hashtag Uller Army. So when people were out and about using the Adventure app, and they took pictures and they used the hashtag, we then followed that hashtag and shared that content on our network. A lot of people who use branded hashtags want their content to be shared. So it's cool because it helps you build a little bit of a loyal following and fan base who want to go out and create great content for you. Idea number 2, run a photo or video contest. So this is a contest that a cheese company did. I love cheese, so I thought it was a good example. They ran this contest on Facebook, and they obviously, if you're going to run a contest, and depending on where you run it, follow the rules of that social media network, because every network has its own rules and regulations for what is and is not allowed when you run promotions or contests. But what this company did was they had people submitting recipes on how they use this cheese. And then what they did was they used those photos that their fans submitted as content later down the road. So contests are a really fantastic way to create buzz about your brand and to generate content from your fans. And a lot of times it inspires people to become customers because they want to be involved in what you're doing and creating. And if you like something like this, if you love cooking and you love cheese, you might even go out and buy the product just to enter the contest. So is my internet connection still working?
It's good.
So brand ambassadors, embracing brand ambassadors. So this is an example from a company called Nowhere. And one of their ambassadors, who is the Birds Papaya. The Birds Papaya is a body positive Instagram influencer. She's fantastic. She shares openly her journey, and she's obviously has a partnership with Nixwear. And so Nixwear actually has a range of different social media influencers who are their ambassadors, and they often will share their ambassadors' content on their network. And this example is really great because it's a really raw and real post from the Birds Papaya about her body and the way she feels about it. And you can see that Nixwear basically took that post, shared it to their fans, and around this post and around body image issues, which is something that a lot of people do struggle with. And you can see that there's almost 9,000 likes at the time that I screen grabbed it. So I think this is just a powerful example of how to really leverage your team. Uller Maps, the company I just referenced to about the hashtag, we actually built an ambassador program. They were an adventure map company. And so what we did is we gathered people who were spending time on the mountain. So pro athletes, ski instructors, Ski Patrol, and we invited them to be part of our ambassador program, and we gave them the app and swag, and we told them, we got them all hyped on the product. And so when they were out on the mountain and using our app and enjoying, you know, what Whistler has to offer, they would take pictures and post it with the hashtag Uller Army. And because we knew they were brand ambassadors, we were keeping an eye on their content, and then we were sharing it. And then what they would do is they would also share our content. So when you create an ambassador community, you're basically lifting each other up. And that's especially important for now. Like right now, we're all in front of our computers and our phones and devices. We're not out in the community, or we shouldn't be out in the community. And if you are, go home, wash your hands, stay home. And we should all be supporting each other. Like, how can we lift each other up? So this is a perfect time to build an ambassador program. There's lots of ways to do it. I can help you, Google can help you, but by creating this little like nucleus of people who love your brand and want to create content for your brand or for themselves that is in line with your values, it creates golden content for your network.
Blair, can you tell us how you were following, just so other people have an idea of how they can follow a hashtag once they create it? So, because that's, I mean, you can create it, but a lot of people don't understand that there's ways to follow and to track that.
Right. So a hashtag is the number sign with a series of words or a word with no spaces associated with a post. And what that hashtag does, it hyperlinks that post to other posts within that social media network that uses that hashtag. Hashtags don't necessarily link between networks. So if I use a hashtag on Instagram, it's not going to show up in Facebook. And every network is different. But you can search hashtags in the search function of those platforms. And some networks like Instagram, you can follow a specific hashtag. And in order to do so, you can type in that specific hashtag to the search function, and then it'll give you an option to follow. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, just so other people know they can use things like Hootsuite to create that tracking feature.
So on Hootsuite, I track hashtags. There's lots of different tools out there that allow you to track different hashtags. So for example, my company is a PR company. So using Hootsuite, I follow hashtag PR tips. So whenever someone has a PR tip and I think it's valuable, I share it with my network. It's a great way to build relationships, but that's a whole nother presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, so idea number 4, simply just ask for it. Maybe you want that great content. Maybe you have a beautiful product like Bronwyn. I know you're a travel agent, right? Yeah. So maybe you want pictures from your clients' vacations that you plan for them. So it's really easy. You can ask, you can put it in your bio, you can send an email, you can just ask people to send you photos using your product or services. And a lot of times people don't mind, especially because we are in a photo and video driven society when it comes to social media. Everyone wants their 10 seconds of fame. And also, like, why wouldn't I want someone else to share my picture that I took? Because obviously I'm taking a picture because there's a special moment or something beautiful is happening. And I would love for the world to see it. So I think, you know, these are really great examples. Like Buffer wants to, you know, wanted people to show like, where is your favorite spots to work? You know, Greece, like that's a beautiful photo. And, you know, the clothing company, like show us a picture of you in your summer outfit or your bathing suit or whatever it might be. If you're a clothing company, like it kind of creates this element of realism. We're moving away from the magazine ads with the models with the unattainable, you know, the unattainable image that we have of like what we think is beautiful. And you see companies moving towards using real shapes and sizes of humans. And social media is the same way. You can have a really beautiful curated Instagram feed, or you can show a real picture of a real customer, you know, using your product. And when you're showing something real, it's more relatable to the average person. So ask for it. Ask your clients to send you pictures using your product and services. And number 5, show off user-generated content. You're doing all this awesome work to ask for it. Make sure you're using it. And you don't have to just ask for the content. Maybe you live in Whistler and you follow a specific hashtag like hashtag only in Whistler, and you see some great content, you want to share it. Totally okay. Just ask for permission. And we'll talk about that with tips and tricks. But once you collect that really beautiful content, make sure you use it. So schedule it in, create a strategy around executing it. Go Whistler, so Tourism Whistler, they're really good at sharing user-generated content. They have a team of photographers that work for them that go out and shoot, but they're also really good at sharing content from people who capture beautiful images around Whistler. Luckily, Whistler is a beautiful setting and it's not hard to take a beautiful picture. And I think their marketing team does a really fantastic job, but they're also really good at giving you a shout out. So they give you photo credit, or they put PC beside whoever took the picture, or a little camera icon. But I think it's really important that if you're asking for that content, that you actually share it, especially because if I know a brand asks for, like, I know a brand out there, a local business asked me to use a beautiful picture of mine, and I said yes, and I followed and followed, and they never used it, and it was disappointing. So if you're going to use someone's picture and you ask them for permission, let them know. If it's going to be far down the road, maybe just say, hey, we love your picture. We plan on using it in a few months. So some tips and tricks. Always ask for permission. You want to get the person's permission. Not everyone is open to sharing their content. Most people are, but not everyone is. And if, for example, someone asks me to share permission, depending on who they are, I sometimes give them blanket permission. Hey, yes, I'm honored if you want to share my post. You can always share it. You don't have to ask me again. If you're not sure, just ask. And if your gut's telling you not to post it until you hear back from them, then don't. Obviously, certain social media networks like Facebook, you just have a share option. That's okay because it's still sharing from the native source. You have to also make sure you always give credit. Do not ever pretend an image is yours or a video is yours when it's not. Giving credit is amazing because it supports the original content creator. It helps build up your brand loyalty. And also it's going to make more people want to create content for you. Reward loyal customers. Maybe you have products for them. Maybe, you know, you have some branded hats or swag. Maybe you have an ambassador team and you give them a bunch of like branded swag or your product to use, or you invite them to a party and you do a special party. You want to reward them and reward those content creators because it's incentive, but also it's celebrating them. It's celebrating them for taking the time to create beautiful content for your marketing to help make you money. You want to build a content library. So you want to ask for the content, store it, save it, organize it, tag it, however you best want to organize it. But you want to build up a library. So you're not like, oh no, what am I going to post today? And that having that stock of images and videos to choose from won't leave you in a pinch, and you can use it in accordance to the strategy you've created. You also want to be very specific. Be specific about the type of content you're looking for. Hey, I really want pictures of people enjoying the summer sun, right? If you want summer pictures. Hey, I really want, hey, I'm looking for some cool photos of people enjoying a beach. If you're looking for specific images, be specific with what you're asking. And make sure you still create your own content. That's also king. You don't have to spend a lot of time and money on it. You can, but you know, you can do something as simple as using stock photography or just your phone, going out in your backyard, recording some cool videos and photos. But you want to make sure that amongst your user-generated content, you still have your own unique content in there, because that's what's really important, is showing that you're showing your eye and your authentic tone that is basically gonna be what people are driven to. I'm not too sure what everyone fully does here, but we all, whatever we do in life, whether we're an entrepreneur or intrapreneur, we do with passion, I believe, and that people do business with people they like, know, and trust. And so by creating your own content and creating a strategy around user-generated content, you're going to be building that trust with your future customers. And that is it. Any questions?
Awesome. Awesome. Kathy and I both use Adobe Spark, which is great to use your own content with really easy cheats to add script and links and things like that, which is kind of fun.
Awesome.
So, if we can take down presenter mode.
Blair,
Are we able to get back to everybody?
Someone have a question?
yeah. So, everyone's telling me right now that video is the way to go, but how much is too much video?
Well, it depends what the video is, right? Are they like 15-second clips? Are they an hour? Are they interviews? Is it you talking? People don't really have that big of an attention span. Like tomorrow I'm on a panel with Whistler Chamber of Commerce for an hour. That's going to be informative, but that's a long time. I have a couple other interviews I've done this week and I'm doing later this week. They're all 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. So I think if you have a lot of content to share, break it up into small bits. people don't, and I think like share what you have to share. Don't do it just for the sake of doing it. You know, people love video. The thing is, this is kind of a unique time. But like, I know that I look at my phone often when I'm out and about, but it's on silent. So if there are videos of people talking and there's no subtitles, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
But now it's probably a bit different because everyone's working from their home and like the volume, you know? So like, I think be strategic with your videos. Don't make them too long. If you have a lot of information, break it up into a bunch of short videos and be consistent. So if you know you have like 15 videos that are all like 5 minutes each, maybe you do it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Monday, or whatever you want to do. And if you're consistent, it builds up expectations with your fans, and it gives them kind of like a routine to follow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. Kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
And I heard the other day, I was doing some training for doing online conferences, is if you've got a lot of content to deliver, sometimes entering into a Q&A, like have someone interview you, it breaks it up. So there's people stay, you know, because you're going back and forth kind of volleying, you keep people's attention more.
Yeah, I think Q&As are good too, because I mean, I don't know how interesting I find it when it's the same person every day talking to the camera. Like, I'm not, like, that doesn't interest me. Maybe it's because I'm a millennial, like, I don't know. But but like when it's switched up or different interviews, like I mean, I'm doing a bunch of different interviews with different professionals, and we're doing it interview style because it's just more interesting. It's more of a conversation, and like it's way better eavesdropping on a conversation or watching a conversation than like listening to someone's stream of consciousness. Does that make sense?
Totally. Totally. All right. Any more questions? Welcome, Tony, as well. Tony's in Langley. I don't know if you've met Blair before. This is Kathy, Bronwyn, and Adam's in Germany as well. So welcome, welcome.
Well, thanks for participating. And if you have social media questions, let me know. You can contact me all the ways in the world. Instagram,
Perfect.
Facebook.
We'll make sure we get your contact information up, and we'll post this so people can rewatch it as well, as long as the recording works. I'm still a little suspicious that one didn't take, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so Kathy, you are up next.
I have a question about it. Yep.
You're up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I have one question about Instagram, because like there is a, you know, like many times you post something, you put like plenty of hashtags, and you think like this is awesome, and people don't engage with it. And sometimes you just post some piece of crap, and like there is so much of engagement on it. And many people have actually this problem that even, for example, Laura Belgrade, which is awesome copywriter, she was writing an article about it, that even she, when she have like a lot of followers and she's like one of the best email copywriters in the world, she cannot predict this. Like, do you know something more about it?
Well, Instagram, okay, so first of all, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook and Instagram are pay for play. So like they want you to spend money to get more eyeballs on your posts. Hashtags are important, but besides hashtags and having a great piece of content, what's really important is your engagement. So you make a post, whether it's kind of crappy or like really good, and then you have your 15, 20, 30 hashtags, 5 hashtags, 1 hashtag. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. It's about you going and engaging. So you going and following new accounts, commenting on people's posts, liking their posts. They want you to spend time in the network. And I find that I get the best results on a post if I go and spend time engaging. There really is no rhyme or reason to it, because like you just said, sometimes I'll make a really beautiful post and use a bunch of hashtags, and I get better engagement on a post that I didn't put any effort in with 1 hashtag. And I think it's about who else is on there. But I think when you engage and Instagram's algorithm picks up that you're engaging, they favor you because you're spending time on the network. It's not a one-way radio stream. It's a communication conversation channel. So make sure that you build an engagement time to your strategy. You know, it used to get a bunch of likes within your first chunk of time. Now it's like 24 to 48 hours. The likes kind of start coming. They come in, and it's about time of day. And honestly, the Instagram metrics that tells you like the time of day that everyone's on, I think it's kind of BS because I post when it's like most people are on or when there's not a lot of people on, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, I think they depending,
Sorry.
and also because there's a GPS part involved in there too, like using your location makes a big difference as well.
Yeah,
so
and honestly, I get more people looking, like I think posting to your stories, I think stories are really important. I think it's better to post a bunch to your stories and less to your feed, and sharing other people's content to your stories, because like I just documented my weekend. I had a bit of a challenge this weekend with an injury, and I documented it, and I was getting probably some of the most views I've ever gotten on my story. But maybe because people like drama and are dark. But I think the Instagram story, I think stories are really where it's at. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You just want different content, right? Not the same.
Yeah, you want to mix it up. Like I know, like I always share my post to my story and let people know, like, here's a new post. But I always like my story is more like the raw, real behind the scenes, like not as polished, right? Like it's more like out on a walk and this and that, and here's a cool tree and look, a bird, and like here's a funny story and check out my burn. I got a burn. Anyways,
Okay.
so like my story is more like the Blair reality show, but also if maybe I'm kind of bummed out and I'm spending a lot of time looking at Tiger King memes because I'm obsessed with Tiger King memes. Then I find funny memes. I'm going to share them because it's making me laugh. It's hopefully going to make someone else laugh. So.
All right. So what I'm taking out from this is basically create quantity and focus on your average, not an up and downs, something like that.
Yeah, like just you want to tell people that you want to show people, like use your story to show people behind the scenes and what your life is really like. Don't be so hooked on how many people like your post. You should check your insights about how many people have seen your post. I don't like every post I've seen.
Okay.
So just keep an eye on your numbers on how many people have seen it. That's what's more important than engagement.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
engagement's important because it feeds the algorithm, but it's still better if 1,000 people saw your post and only 10 people engaged than 500 people seeing your post and 20 people engaging.
Okay.
I found, for example, I do BC Foodies, so every once in a while I'll post what I'm doing in the kitchen Facebook Live, and usually I get like 20 or 30 people. And yesterday, within 15 minutes, I had almost 300 people view the video. So I mean, this is a really key time. More people are online right now too, and you're gonna see this. I think we're gonna see some really weird stuff. All right, Kathy, you are up, girl.
All right. Well, thank you, Anissa, for asking me to provide my insights on a 90-day challenge for us all. I'm a person that works over the years through visioning, writing it down, kind of tracking my actions to goals or, achievements that I'd like to make in 90 days. I find in real estate, in my career, maybe it's 120 days in your business model, but 90 days to me breeds outcomes that are more positive than just sitting and spinning my wheels. So Anissa is going to share with you a Google document form that I've created, which talks to you about, number one, some people are, think about the way you work. Are you a visual person? Do you like to write lists? Do you like to just think about it and act on it? Do you read books that will help you get to your goals? So what I've thought about for us to share today, and it will be uploaded on the Entrepreneur Collective as well, is 3 steps that I'd like you to think about today that will hopefully we can share the results in 90 days together on the Entrepreneur Collective, or you can email me as well. So number 1, what I'd like you to do right now is just take 1 minute to say, what are thoughts that you would like to do for yourself, your family, and your career over the next 90 days? Before I give you that minute, I'd like you to think about this. Here's an example of what I'm thinking for myself over the next 90 days. Exercise, meditate, and write in a journal, and then take online courses, both related to work and to life. My second thing is for my family is create a diet plan for the 90 days. Take time together and vary that up related to different activities, and then do online meetings with friends and family. The third thing is to think about your career. For my career, I deal with so many people around the world. It's a wonderful experience, of course, and creating a client database. That could be on a recipe card system, it could be an Excel spreadsheet, or it could be a specific database which our realty office uses. I think it's important right now, and I'll go into that in a few minutes, to think about your business network as well. Over the years, you've met so many people in your life, in your career. Those are people to reach out right now to build stronger networks of your business community. The third is supporting your community. In my career over the years, I always volunteer for one community organization so that I don't spread my time too much. So I'm the chair of the Whistler Mature Action Community. Anyone who's 55 plus in Whistler is considered senior, which is kind of funny because I know people that are 80 who have more energy than I do. So
or
could
Grace,
you take the next
86. she does more downhill than I know.
So I'd like you to take the next minute and just say to yourself, what would I like to get done over the next 90 days for yourself, your family, and your career?
And I've added a link to that Google Doc in the chat room as well.
Okay.
If anybody,
And then we'll add it to the Entrepreneur Collective.
Yeah, it'll be in the coffee house. But I'd be curious to see if somebody can click on it and see if they can download it as well. And I'm using my Post-it notes. I love Post-it notes. So
yeah. So what are you going to do?
It's open.
Did it open, Bronwyn?
Yeah.
perfect. So are we gonna share those, or how are we gonna work that?
Yeah, why don't we share, if you don't mind sharing with the group, Anissa, why don't we start with you? What are you going to do for yourself over the next 90 days?
Well, for me, it's really important to move, and it's one of the reasons I actually have the job at the gym, which, like Adam has the bike mechanic job, I don't have to think about it too hard. You go, you do, I get paid to move around and to talk to people, and it's extremely interactive. But with the concussion that I've got, if I'm not moving, I'm either moving or I'm toast, right? So I've got to be really conscious about that, because I mean, at work, literally, if I get stiff or I get cold, I get on our new running assault machine and do sprints like for 45 seconds, because I'm allowed to do that. That works for me. So being at home, I've taken up, and I can only run for a very short amount of time. So my goal is to do either running or I almost went out cross country skiing yesterday, but it kept snowing and melting and snowing and melting and snowing and melting and snowing and melting. So that didn't happen. And so I got a slam ball for the garage. So my goal is to do 20 slam balls a day as well. And then also we launched the 30-day Miracle Morning Challenge. So the reading and the meditation, the savers, which is silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and scribing. So really getting back to that. I've done it for 90 days before. And then also my goal, and if you guys can help me with this, is to get a minimum of 300 people in the next 90 days into the Entrepreneur Collective. I'm halfway there. So it actually, if everybody brought one person, because I know there's going to be a tipping point where it's just going to go like that. And then the main goal is once we can all gather, then we do this all on stage. So, and we bring people back to Whistler through a live event. As I build this, for me, this is my reality. Kathy was the first person to hear this out of my mouth, and she told me I was crazy, which always makes me go, okay, I better do it. And so it's been growing for quite a few months now, and now this is this opportunity to make it into, even if it's online, it's still it's building the branding, building the people that will be involved in it, and finding the right mix of content. So we'll probably do this online thing again in 2 weeks and see what the right mix of content is once everyone's not so overwhelmed with being on Zoom every day, catching up. So That's
Super. Now maybe I could ask Blair, if you don't mind sharing, under item number 2, for your family and friends, what would you like to do with them for the next 90 days?
So, something I've committed to doing in light of the situation is calling my mom every day. We're texters, but I'm just trying to, she's at home, she got laid off, she's a dental hygienist, and she lives alone in Winnipeg, and I'm in Pemberton, so I've committed to calling her every day, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, just to check in with her. Also really committing to dividing my workspace from my living space. Like I work from home anyways, but really making sure that when I'm done work, and that's left in the office, and I'm able to spend time with my husband. It's really important for me, and move my body. My husband is recovering from surgery, so I'm just trying to like do things with him outside the house. Like, well, we were camping and now that's not allowed, but going for walks and bike rides and whatnot. So I really want to try and do more moving outside with my husband, and also just make sure I stay in touch with my other family members. And we've had a bit more communication over the COVID crisis, and just keep that up, keep making sure it's not just text messages, but it's video calls and phone calls.
That's great. And thank you for sharing. And Bronwyn, would you mind sharing for your career under item number 3? What are you thinking of doing over the next 90 days to help move your career along, especially in this challenging world of tourism industry, which is currently on hold?
Yeah, I have had for a while a lot of things that I wanted to do for my business. So I want to go and revisit that list and prioritize, develop a plan to get it done, because now I have the time to do it. So calling my clients and seeing how they're going, and seeing how they're going and seeing what they're thinking, and maybe sit with them and talk about their plans in more their travel plans in more depth, because we both have the time to do that now. So then I know what they want for the future, so we can work on that and explore.
Super. Okay, and so thank you for sharing, everyone. Really appreciate that. And now into the middle step. So for me, when I'm working, there's the power of 3. Brian Tracy, who's a sales motivator out of the United States, uses a book called Eat That Frog, and I know many of you have likely heard it. It says every day, I usually do this the night before, I write down my top 3 things I must get done the next day. And then I put a little reward when I do them. So is that a piece of chocolate? Is it buying myself some flowers? Is it going out for a walk? Once I get them done, I take a break, I step back and go, oh, check. For me, I actually physically check it off my list. I keep a running list of top priorities, medium priorities, time priorities. So it depends on how you do your list, whether it's on your computer, in your laptop. For me, I'm a person who actually physically needs to check it off, and I'm keeping it in a binder for me to refer back to say, this is what's happened since March the 15th, since I returned home from holidays in England. Wow, how the world has changed. But we want to celebrate achieving things. If we just keep spinning our wheels and keep just kind of doing the same old things, we won't get those top priorities done that will help us in the next 90 days. So let me give you an example of what we could do weekly, monthly. So I set up a daily top 3. I set up a weekly vision of what I would like my week to look like. And then I have my month in vision. You see, often as a ski instructor, when I was an instructor going through my exams, the use of creative visualization helps you when a situation comes up, you've already lived it in your mind. Does that make sense? So you've actually said, okay, well, this month, my goal is to sell 2 properties in COVID-19 this month. of April. How am I going to do that? So I write out daily ideas, weekly ideas, and monthly goals so that it helps me focus on how I'm going to get that done. So what I'd like you to do is, from whether it's related to yourself, your family and friends, and your business, is consider writing down 3 things that will get you through with action steps, and then being able to check those off, however you wish to set it up. Let me just give you a few ideas. So for example, for myself, I now get up every day at 6 a.m. Of course, when COVID first started, I got up at 9. What a waste of time. I feel so much better because I use that morning time to do meditation, yoga, and I am mindful of how my day is going to turn out. I visualize my day. That extra few hours makes such a difference. Mel Robbins, who's been an inspiration to many people, she counts down. She says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up, and just do it. Then my next thing to do as an action step is write down the top 3 things I need to get done. With my family, I like to share how they're feeling. We share recipes during the week and the month. We talk about games we used to play, and we bring them out again and play them together. I'm using Luminosity and online puzzle things to engage with my family with online games. That way we kind of laugh and share stories at the same time as playing games. For my business, I'm doing lots of phone calls, emails, and text messages to my clients right now, sharing their emotional journey of going through COVID. My business network, I'm trying to support them and do cross-marketing with some of my businesses. For example, in Whistler with Crank Coffee, he owns Whistler grocery and delivery business, and I co-market with him on his boxes with my blog that is called lifestylelocator.ca. The idea is that we share a community of cross-marketing through that platform, and it seems to be working quite well for me. Then, so if you could, we only have a few minutes left as we get wrapped up here for the hour. So I'll leave that with you. What are the steps that you're going to take over the next 90 days, every day? Then reward yourself when you get them done, every week and each month. I'm going to share with you a copy of my vision board. For me, that really helps me as well to think about the steps that I want to do to reach my ultimate goal, like a trip to Provence, buying a new SUV, buying more real estate, those kind of things. Do you have a vision board that you keep in front of you each day to refer to help you towards your goals? And lastly is, when you achieve your goals, we often forget to reward ourselves. So I'd like you to, as we wrap up the session, I'd like you, when you achieve your goals, how are you going to feel? For myself, for example, I'm going to feel physically and mentally better over the next 90 days. I'm going to reward myself with a weekly delivery of dinner to help a local restaurant. For my family, I'm going to maintain and deepen my family and friendship connections and gather ideas for working through COVID together, because together we'll be so much better. I love those online gatherings of cocktail parties and sharing recipes and cooking dinner together. I've done that quite often. So how are you going to reward yourself when you've done your 90-day project? These are ideas that I'd like to share. Lastly, for our careers is creating meaningful, long-time clientele. They need to know that we're a resource for them in the future. I think often we sit in a place of panic instead of moving to a place of power. And being a leader in our community, no matter what your business, people want to look to you to be an industry leader. And you can do it in a positive and proactive way, even though we're going through a global pandemic. I've been in real estate for over 25 years. I have seen so many ups and downs, just like all our businesses. We will work through this together, and we will find and accept and adjust to a new business model. We're learning so much every day. So I'll leave that sheet with you. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. If you want to send me an email at my website, go through lifestylelocator.ca or go through Kathy White at evcanada.com.
Or everyone here is in the collective, so they can
Or everyone's in the collective as well. Thank you, Anissa. And if I can leave things with you is a mantra I use I create a yearly mantra, but I have a life mantra. My life mantra is vision into reality. My 2020 mantra is positive and proactive, and that is a hashtag. I hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. I wanted to just ask Adam and Tony as well a little bit about what their goals will be for the next 90 days as well. So Tony, maybe you first.
Okay, no, I find that was actually an interesting presentation. When this all started to come about, just over 2 weeks ago, when the reality was hitting in that we were all going to have to start, hunkering down homes, I spent the first couple of days I was looking at the TV, watching the carnage, as we heard the news get worse and worse, and all these things going on. And after a couple of days, I was sort of able to shake it off and start thinking, what can I do to get control back? And there's two things I decided I was going to do to feel like I was in some level of control about what was going on around me. And two things I decided to do was to just spend double the amount of time with my existing clients to be sure that they were navigating through this and helping them with their stresses and anxieties. But also I decided I was going to reach out and make my services available to as many business owners as I could at no charge to help them through it. And as you were talking just a few minutes ago, I started thinking of some numbers, and the association I belong to, we're doing a bunch of webinars for various business associations right now. And I think our goal would be to reach and connect with at least 500 business owners as an association, to help 500 business owners. But my personal goal with that would be 25. I want to make close connections and be able to help on a one-on-one basis at least 25 business owners that I currently don't deal with, get through the next 90 days. So that's what I'll do. And when it comes to goals with my family, I guess my first goal is make sure I don't get anybody sick. So the self-isolation part, and I've got 5 grandchildren and two kids, and we have Sunday dinners almost every Sunday, so that's put on hold. So I think one of the big rewards is we'll make it an extra special event when we're all able to get back together.
That's awesome. And Tony's actually also doing a presentation today at 5 o'clock. With me, we're doing a roundtable on what your brick and mortar and what your other businesses need to look at from more of a business plan perspective to survive the next 90 days. And he's got some, I believe, some links to what's available from the government as well. So
yeah, I'm just I'm still tracking it because there's some new stuff coming out that's supposed to be details coming out today. So I'm refreshing their website about every 30 minutes to see if those details are available.
Cool. Super. We'll make sure we post them with this. And Adam, what about you?
I haven't set in my goals from this sheet yet because it doesn't fit my frame. Well, I will go through that and I will send you an email, Katie. Okay. But the thing is that I don't take commitments lightly. And like goals are mini commitments. And for me, it's like I'm building a momentum. So if I right now will get emotional and I will set the goal, which tomorrow will stop making sense. And after 1 week, I will be like, why have I said it? I wanna make every one goal to come true. So therefore, I will really need to think about it. Like this is not something what I will say, I'm gonna run in 2 hours. That's a thing which doesn't repeat. But if something repeats at least twice, I need to really sleep over and think about it like seriously, because once I will say that I'm gonna do this, it will happen, and that's it. So this is really hard for me to just say in like 5 minutes that yeah, I'm gonna do this. That doesn't work like that. So yeah, I will send you an email, Kathy. Okay.
Thank you, Adam. I think it's such an individual journey about goals. I wish there was another word for it at a time. Maybe it's just a vision, something you'd like to work on. A part of it is the journey. for me, it ends up taking me on a different path. And it's like putting a flag out there and saying, in 90 days, whatever the world's doing, this is where I'd like to be. Or maybe it's just getting through tomorrow. I find the power of 3, of writing down, what are the top 3 things I want to do tomorrow? It gets your mind working at night to actually give you the answers. And it's funny how it comes together. And then usually, maybe it's just thinking of one thing. Maybe it's, okay, well, this week I just want to do one thing. Everybody's so different. For me, I have often found that by doing the power of 3, it gives me the vision of, okay, what do I want for myself? If I stay healthy, then I can help my family and friends, and then I can help my community. So taking care of ourselves first and foremost right now is so important. And then supporting our family and friends through this. And then our community is, how are we going to either resolve the COVID, or how are we going to accept and adjust and amend our lifestyles? So it's, for me, you know, I really applaud you for sharing that with us, Adam, because I know a lot of people are like yourself, and we all come at this from a different angle. And hopefully some of the tips today will kind of resonate with you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
if anyone wants to get to know a little bit more about how Adam sets goals and achieves them, the link to his video that he just did, how the goat overcame how the goat overcame imposter syndrome, is one of the most favorite videos I've seen. He sent it over from Germany this week, and I really encourage everyone to listen to it. Shani, I don't know if you want to come on and let people know, or if you're just gonna sit there. We can't see your face, but anyway, thank you for tuning in here.
Hi everyone. This is Shani. Well, I can show my face, not a problem, but it's not the best time. Okay, let's see. Hi.
Hey.
How's everyone doing?
Good. What goals are you going to set for the next few days or weeks?
I think I'm going to take some online courses, because I think in this midlife crisis with the COVID-19 and all the uncertainties around, basically my position is a marketing director for a company, and I just got laid off, and I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. So, so I'm thinking of what else to do out there instead of just focusing on marketing and running for goals that are very much a short term for the company and myself, and really focus on more of a career that is very much long term, very much focused on things that can add to me and make me wiser in the long term, in the long term. So those are the things that I'm exploring. I also think that I'm suffering from ADHD just because I've got inside. So I'm trying to find ways to see what I can do to stay focused, avoid procrastination, and really stimulate my brain in a better way. So those are the things I'm focusing on, and taking some online courses that I'm curious to learn about, and see if there are those courses can help me to set a new direction. Yeah.
And where are you calling from?
Vancouver.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And how are you staying in touch with family?
Well, I'm in touch with them every day. I live with my sister, so that's actually keeps me alive indoor. But aside from that, same thing here. I have lots of online calls, ritual sessions with my parents and family. It all keeps it going. I'm very much an introvert, so I don't have any problem with staying indoors. But again, the problem of not being able to go out and walk around in the nature by the seawall, that's a problem that I just have to basically can accept. That's all. Yeah.
Perfect.
that's great.
And Deb just came online from Quebec as well, which is pretty cool. Well, let's wrap this up for this session. Our next one is 1 o'clock. We have Brenda doing an amazing presentation. She's a retired lawyer, and she's doing how to fix your presentation. She's figured out how to get lawyers who generally just push out to actually connect with their audiences and people in their offices. So not just on the stage, but also, I mean, a lot of times we think of presentation as public speakers, but a lot of times we have to supply content to coworkers and things like that. And so figuring out how to make sure they're listening and going through the different learning styles, she's really hacked that and made it her passion in life. And she's also just a little fireball that you would never guess when she's wearing that brown suit. She's amazing. So I hope you guys will tune back in at lunchtime from 1 to 3 for the ladies meeting luncheon. And she's our special guest today. And I'm gonna end this the recording right now. And I hope that you all have an amazing day, and hopefully we'll see you back at lunchtime.
Thanks for sharing.
Adam.
Ciao.
See you.
Yeah. Hey, Adam and Debbie. I see you're on Zoom. That's awesome. Debbie's in Quebec and Adam's in Germany. I'm about to end the meeting here till 1 o'clock. Are you going to join us back for lunch?
Well, don't think so.
It looks like it got dark there.
Yeah, well, I'm working and we are moving today to another apartment, so I'm gonna go pack in my things. But it was really nice to see you again.
You too. You too. I'd love to see your smile. Bye-bye. Take
Ciao.
care, man. Hey, Deb, how's it going? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You got to take your mute off. You have to look in here. You'll see a little button. It says mute.